Let's make a TV show.
Let's make a TV show.
I like TV.
Wait, what is he watching? I want to cut his rat tail off.
You do it, please.
Do you like TV?
Yeah!
Yeah.
Guess what? We're gonna make a TV show.
Yeah.
Let's go, Grandpa.
Take some time to come up with 5 traits. They can be anything. For example, comedy, main character's a houseplant, animation.
Alright.
Now you're gonna come up with 5 traits and send them to me in Discord. I will randomly assign you 3 traits. You get 15 minutes to make a show with your traits.
Oh gosh, okay.
You can use anything to present. Be creative. Then you get someone else's show the next round. You have 15 minutes to make changes to their show. You can change anything. At the end of each round, we'll vote on the best one, and whoever has the most votes at the end wins.
No, okay, let's go. I'm going. Alright, Google Docs.
God, I hate how wet your keyboard sounds, Max.
What do you mean wet?
Just the way it sounds. It sounds
It's an
squishy.
Amazon Basics keyboard.
I literally haven't even been able to open a document yet.
Didn't Moses use the Beyblade to like split the Red Sea? I swear to God he did. The Beyblade took everything way too
Bible
seriously.
conspiracy theories. I really hope nobody gets the wrong idea from my search history here.
I just knew like the toys and how it took stuff way too seriously. There's like kids getting jumped and like beat the shit out of them. There's people dying because of Beyblades.
Meet Jorge, a 17-year-old gorilla with major depression.
Jorge.
He was abandoned in the middle of the busy New York street years ago, and hasn't known what to do since. The pilot episode is Jorge meeting the local pharmacist, Paul, after a very late night shift. Paul is truly fed up with his job. He has no life, no friends, no money, and no goals. Jorge, wandering the barren streets of New York at 1 o'clock in the morning, finds a newspaper behind the pharmacy to sleep under for some semblance of warmth. Paul walks out to finally go home for the night, and finds Jorge asleep. Paul kicks Jorge to wake up and leave, which makes Jorge angry. Paul has been stealing from his uncle's pharmacy for years, as is to be expected, and is holding a bottle of Xanax, which Jorge swipes out of his hand and downs, mistaking it for a stranger's candy. There's a SpongeBob-esque hyper-realistic zoom in on Jorge's face, as he descends into a bizarre adventure that takes up the rest of the episode. Gorillas should not take Xanax. The show follows the same pattern every episode, of Jorge getting caught up with some new substance to abuse, and each one has its own distinct art style after Jorge takes it. As the season progresses, Jorge is less and less affected by the substances, and starts to attempt to recreate his fantasies with innocent New Yorkers, leading to very disturbing, Meat Canyon-like premises. The season finale is of Jorge being locked up in the zoo, becoming extremely violent and brutally taking out all the other animals in his enclosure until he is finally tranquilized and put down. A very jarring, but impactful ending.
That was a lot. That's a lot to take in. So it's secretly a Curious George sequel?
Oh, it is Curious George. See, it doesn't
knew it.
explicitly say it, but like people are gonna come up with the fact that like the place it takes place in, the fact that he was abandoned, his age, like it's like a fan because like it has to be secretly a sequel to Curious George.
In the 1700s, George Washington was going through a bit of a rough time. King Koopa came through in a time machine with his Koopalings and kidnapped Benjamin Franklin and took George Washington's legs.
Oh God.
Oh no.
George Washington's
Oh, no,
wife
Ethan
only
said-
loved him for his legs, so she divorced him.
Oh no.
George Washington, out for revenge, followed King Koopa in his time machine to save Ben Franklin and his legs. And King Koopa returned to the Super Mario World cartoon. So George Washington has to team up with Mario, Mama Luigi, Oogtar, Peach, and Yoshi.
I came before all of that.
But anyways, they have to team up and save Ben Franklin from King Koopa. That's why you have to watch.
This sounds like an
Okay.
actual
World dick.
episode of like the actual Mario show, besides the
does.
part where George Washington's missing his legs. King Koopa would do that shit.
I love
Yeah,
how
most of the
Yoshi still has the white background. So you guys can imagine what my search history was looking like.
I mean, you could show us and we won't need to imagine. You gonna explain or is this just... What's going on?
The orange is wearing diva glasses and a bikini. Broccoli has abs, some sexy shorts.
What's going on here?
So he's so obviously the little on the back, like the chicken, the skinned cow. Anyways, they're all screaming help because they're all in pain. He tells them to shut up before he skins his son. So yeah, that's awkward for him. But if you look behind him, you can see he's hiding orange peeler.
Wait, so is this like a twist at the end?
I guess, yeah.
So the Beyblade universe, a lot of interesting events have been confirmed to take place during it, like how Moses split the fucking Red Sea. So this particular time in Beyblade lore takes place during the 1860s, during the Civil War. Right now, it's not looking too good for the North. The South's Beyblade skills are just off the fucking charts. They're fucking beating all of them with Beyblades. There's dead bodies everywhere. It's horrible. Abraham Lincoln's like, so they're in Australia. The faraway land of Australia, there is a Beyblade master there. Someone who could really show them how it's done. He can turn around the whole Civil War. Abraham Lincoln himself sends one of his best men to Australia to seek out this legendary warrior. The eagle is with him to like watch over him. He like sends messages back to Abraham Lincoln.
Is it like some magical eagle that just flies at super speed?
Yeah, he's like crazy, and he can also turn into a Beyblade. So the entire like premise and the entire series is kind of swapping between Australia and the Civil War, trying to figure out what's the secret, what do we need to win, where's the Australian Beyblade
But
master?
little do they know it's the power of friendship.
Abraham Lincoln's watching over them in spirit. He's gonna come back. He's gonna show his own crazy Beyblade skills. John Wilkes Booth is there.
What about Harriet Tubman? Does she have a cameo?
What the fuck? They all have crazy, awesome 2000s anime haircut. Like episodes 6, 13, and 19 through 26 got banned in a few countries, but it is legendary. And it aired on Disney Channel censored. Any questions?
Okay, Max won.
What?
Hey, you got 1 point.
I had a dream where a lot of us were inside an IHOP and our food just never fucking came.
That happened to me at Denny's once.
Sorry.
It was so crazy that Joe looked like this when he died.
Bro.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not the same man I was 30 seconds ago. I'll be better in the future. I'm including this in my next one. I found a really good image.
So Ethan goes back in time because his friends and him, they made a time machine. And he goes back in time and he meets Rene Descartes, guy who made music back in the olden days.
Actually, a philosopher, I think.
Oh, he's a philosopher.
He's the guy who said, I think, therefore I am. He's that guy.
Oh! And he falls in love. So they get married. In a terrible war, Ethan got his leg chopped off, and now he has to wear a peg leg. Descartes doesn't love him anymore because now Ethan has a divorce. He doesn't know what to do now. He's depressed and sad. So he has a one-night stand with AI-generated femboy Fortnite from Aaron. No, femboy Aaron from Fortnite. Renee doesn't want him anymore.
I just realized that Ethan!
So Renee marries this guy named Giuseppe Verdi, who made this really cool version of this one song. So he makes music. He's a music guy because he's an Italian and he has legs. So Descartes wanted to get married with him. And then Ethan comes back into the present and he tries to get into a relationship with Owl City, but he comes back to find the earth in ruin due to an influx of evil Avis. And he's trying to figure out how is he supposed to fix this problem. He was the one who let these Avis get on the loose in the first place. When he left to go in his time machine, the Avis escaped his basement and then they repopulated the earth with evil Avis. So he comes back to the past and he's like, you guys need to help me. I need to figure out what I need to do to solve the problem with this influx of evil Avis. And Verity's like, dude, I got you. And he writes him a piece for him to perform. Ethan tries to practice it and he sucks. He's terrible and he's so close to giving up. Verity comes by him and is like, listen, bro, sometimes you gotta be okay with your flaws and you just gotta do it anyway. And then Ethan gets up and he's like, you're right. And he performs the piece in front of all the evil Avis. And then they turn into normal Avis. And the whole point is, be yourself.
Did I miss here, or was fucking Owl City there in the middle of the story?
Owl City and Ethan were role playing online, and he was Owl City was role playing as Fortnite Aaron, but AI generated. And then he wanted to go get married with him.
So the original prompt was Xanax, hyper-realistic animation, and sequel to Curious George. There's a very creepy-looking Curious George. Yep. Who clearly does not fit the art style of the other characters, along with he also does not fit the art style of the fentanyl or the city skyline, or the nice guy for that matter. That's because the hyper-realistic animation only applies to Curious George. Everything else is either realistic or just cartoonish. Xanax. Why is there fentanyl? Like, I figured fentanyl is more relevant to today's modern issues than Xanax is. So I feel like the message would be deeper and would resonate with people more if I made it fentanyl instead of Xanax. And then the two buddies there, they're Curious George's gangsta homies. Like they killed the man in the yellow hat because he would not let Curious George get into the fentanyl business with them. So they just did not take that lightly. That's why the man in the yellow hat's not there. So it's supposed to be misleading. Obviously, the man in the yellow hat, the guy on the right, his hat's kind of yellow. So at the beginning, like couple scenes, it's led on to believe that it was just some gangsters that killed him. But it's actually the man in the yellow hat. He switches to be a gangster with them.
I would have given you permission to say the N-word in this context.
Thanks, but no. The story is just like a Breaking Bad-esque story about Curious George and his little dabblings in fentanyl. Turns out Curious George is really talented at loan sharking or like hunting down people who owe the fentanyl.
Makes sense.
And then, the guy on the right, he's just a stereotypical side character who's like, chill, It's just a story of Curious George's descent into madness in the fentanyl business.
Yes, I do.
I can't believe Joe died from fentanyl overdose. Pretty much, we got a spree going on here. We got fruit getting peeled, getting squashed, all sorts of horrible shit, right? The police, they're having trouble right now. You can see the milk carton. He's got the fucking "have you seen me" shit. They can't find this one. That one is just straight up dead in the middle of the kitchen. It's a whole thing right now. And as you can see there, the orange is missing. That is fucking like Orange's fucking cousin, Priscilla. No. Priscilla Orange. And he's like distraught by this. So our friend here, Little Apple, decides he's got to take on for his friend. He's got to take a comedy, thriller, rom-com, sex, murder mystery, sex movie. Seth Rogen voices the banana. So Little Apple's got to take it on because he knows his friends are in danger too, possibly. Like there's a bunch of fruit and I guess vegetables getting murdered. They got to find the culprit, We don't know who it is yet. He's got to team up with this stoner banana right here. His name is Phil. He has a daughter named Jill that he sees on Saturdays, and he loves Carhartt. At first, Little Apple was like, "Get the fuck out! You can't do this shit. You suck." The entire time, Phil's proving his worth as a detective. So you can see where the fucking buddy cop buddy shit comes from. There's gonna be a bunch of like chases, murders. Look at the Milk. He's here. The Milk's here as a cop.
Dude, Milk's my favorite annoying orange character.
Just because I saw a PNG of him, like a picture of him like 10 minutes ago, I was like, I like this. Phil is like one of the key components to solving the fucking mystery.
So this takes place immediately after the events of Max's show. So Abraham Lincoln got his Beyblades. He's chilling in anime Australia. A man from a certain country that cannot be named shows up through a time portal, and he brings his army and his nukes and his Beyblades and his Pokemon.
Holy fuck, it's a crossover!
Things are going pretty badly. Abraham Lincoln doesn't know what to do. He's never seen a nuke. But all of a sudden, Anime Hair Pikachu defects. And he joins Abraham Lincoln, Anime Hair Pikachu, and Abraham Lincoln. They fight guy from unknown country and his army and the Pokemon. They capture Charizard, and Charizard becomes a part of their team. They save the day until someone comes through a portal at the end, and we don't know who it is. That's for season 2.
I am turning my DS off. You know, I had a friend who dropped his Switch in the toilet.
This one is a sequel to the previous two with the same topic. So the broccoli guy you see here, he escaped the kitchen and he went to Total Drama Island. Just by coincidence, Annoying Orange in the gang, including the banana and the Carhartt shirt,
Oh
Phil,
my god, Phil! He's back!
as well as this Uncrustable guy, all of them just happened to be at Total Drama Island for the new season, the new Chris, the replacement, the food version, and he's a Mr. Beast bar because Mr. Beast and Chris from Total Drama are basically the same person. Annoying Orange in the gang and the Uncrustable, they're participating. Broccoli guy, meanwhile, is trying to kill them all. But then, the Uncrustable guy turns out to be evil and he's helping the Broccoli guy.
A mole!
Things get crazy, everybody's freaking out, but then the FBI shows up because they've been hunting Broccoli guy and they bomb the island.
The only main character not there is just normal apples. It makes you believe that he was either murdered or he was the first one voted off.
I mean, given tradition, we can say it's both. But then while the FBI's bombing the island, we're down to the final two. It's Orange and Phil. Just when you think Orange is about to win, Phil wins by surprise. And Phil kills Mr. Beast guy. And Phil becomes the new owner of the island.
Yay!
It turns out Broccoli guy lived, so we'll see what he gets up to next.
What the fuck is that in the back?
Ethan goes back to Descartes and Verity's time, and Verity's like, okay, I'm spent after writing that piece. I'm gonna go home. But Descartes' like, I think before I am. So he goes to fuck around with Ethan, and Ethan and Descartes are like, they're chill with each other. They're going to a forest near Paris or Versailles or wherever. They meet this fish named Oscar, all right? And they also meet this ogre, whose name is Shrock. They meet these two here, and Descartes and Shrock, they become really close friends, even closer than he was with Ethan. And Ethan and Oscar, they form a bond that can only be described as roommates by historians. They decide to all go out, like hang out as a gang, but Oscar comes up to Descartes and Shrock and says, I'm gonna ask him to marry me. Let's go to the forest where we first met. Let's go frolic in the fields. Let's go on little escapades in the tree line. And Descartes and Shrock, like, they nod it. They know the best spot. They're like, oh, we should do it right here. And Oscar's like, thank you guys so much. Ethan, obviously, he's like, he has to go home soon. He has to go home within the next year. But he's really likes these people. But Oscar doesn't know this yet. Oscar gets on one knee. He asks Ethan, marry me, and pulls out this special pearl.
This isn't even a ring.
Descartes turns away. Shrock has to hide his face in Descartes' chest. Pours his heart out. They get married. That's this part of the story.
I'm confused as fuck, but it was beautiful.
I cried a little.
What's that guy in the window above him?
That's what I want to know. It's part of the plot, even I don't know it.
Zoom in.
I don't know. I just found the background of the I'll work with it. And then like halfway through I saw it and I was like, what the fuck? The man in the yellow hat, he fucking lived, bitch. He survived everything. And right now you can see his hat right there if you zoom in. It's got blood on it.
Oh
Dude.
no.
That motherfucker has a weapon on it, dude. He is angry. He's out for vengeance right now. Curious George is all of a sudden dealing with the fucking return of his old friend that he left for fucking fentanyl and Xanax. Now, a lot of Curious George's like friends, the characters that we've kind of had, they're getting fucking murked. They're getting assassinated. And Curious George is like, oh shit, he's back. He's going fucking crazy too, because he's kind of an addict now. But he's also got another big problem now. The CEO of PBS Kids, Mr. PBS Kids, is after his ass. He wants his fucking money back. He's mad. He's angry. He lost millions. He's trying to like get him back, you know? Like he's like a more manipulative, mysterious antagonist throughout it. He tries to like manipulate Curious George. He tries to give him tips about the man in the yellow hat. As you can probably tell, he's a villain right now.
He looks pretty shady.
Yeah, he put down Martha Speaks. You can't trust him.
No. Not Martha Speaks.
So, and then this season, Curious George.
She's the person who taught me about the word mimicking.
Word Girl taught me more. I'm gonna be real. He has to balance the man in the yellow hat and Mr. PBS Kids, as well as all of the drug insanity that is going on in the world right now. What will Curious George do? Will he lose his fucking mind? Will he break? Will he fight back? Will he kill them? Will he find another path? Is Clifford the big red dog there? Only one way to find out.
We have Abraham Lincoln. He starts a business, and this business is a venture in Australia.
He turned the obvious into chromosomes.
What the fuck?
And they find these spiders. They learn that they're really good at spinning, so they make a kid's toy based off of these spiders that spin in real time. And they were originally going to call them spider spinners, but that doesn't make sense because, you know, spiders spin webs. So instead, they call them Beyblades because Abraham Lincoln's best friend Hibaniel Star, his wife's last name is Beyblade, so they changed it, or her maiden name was Beyblade before she got it changed to Hibaniel Star because his name is Hibaniel Star, and she got it changed, but originally it was Beyblade. So as you can see, the obbies at the top, there's 3 of them, you know, in a line. They're just kind of chilling, right? The product was supposed to turn these obbies into dancers because they're going to learn how to spin. Because, you know, the Beyblades, they kind of watch them spin, and they kind of just, you know, they pick it up and they learn how to do what the Beyblades are doing. So it turns these boring obbies into dancing obbies. But there's a problem. Abraham Lincoln, this one is actually a fake Abraham. And this fake Abraham, you can tell by the Arabic text on the bottom. It's a mysterious text that Hibaniel Star didn't actually know what it meant, but he wore this on his shirt every single time he came over, and he never questioned it. He saw it, but he just never questioned it. He's actually using these Beyblades to release a toxic fume into the air, and this is where the Beyblade era of the world falls and crumbles. The only question is, how are we going to get all of this back together? Hibaniel Star runs away from Australia and goes to Indonesia instead, and he starts a company, and this company, he makes sweaters. Guess what the sweater had on it? Do y'all remember Phil?
I do.
Yeah. Hibaniel Star started that business, and he changed his name. Yeah, he changed his name from Hibaniel Star to No Hibaniel Star. And so this business that he made, he didn't think it was going to kick off, but it went insane. It became so beloved that the dancing obbies started to wear them. The only question is now, Hibaniel Star got killed by an unknown man speaking Arabic. They don't know who it is, but we know who it is. And so now that Hibaniel Star is dead, who's going to take control of the business? And that's where the story ends. I pulled this out of my ass.
Oh wow.
Let's go.
Yay!